Hey guys, this is Claude and Labria True Fun again with the True Wind Down. Hey, we're about to get this thing started with our next segment of the True Wind Down, overcoming obstacles in a relationship. And we also have a special guest.
That's right. We have Vendell and Dewana Andrews all the way from Texas. Listen, you don't want to miss this segment. Grab your favorite glass of wine and some cheese and tune in right now with the True Wind Down.
Let's get started.
How are you?
What's up, man?
All right, I can hear you now.
Okay, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
We're great. Welcome to the Wind Down. I'm Bree.
I'm Claude, and we have our panel here, man, and we was thanking you. Just want to thank you so much for joining us. I know you have a very busy schedule, and so, man, to take this little time with us, man, is lovely. Hey, how you doing?
Hi, Miss Andrews.
Thank you so much, man. It's a pleasure that you guys are sharing this with us, and we're going to get this thing all started. So our group basically is about, helping relationships and marriages and things of that nature for people to grow spiritually, self-awareness and things of that nature. And so all tips that we share on this platform to help other relationships get stronger is just a blessing to everybody. You know what I mean? And so y'all feel free to chime in, let us know, ask questions with us, and man, we're going to have a good time.
Okay.
Y'all ready?
We ready?
Ready.
All right. We're going to turn it over to the tanners. They generally start off with the icebreaker, and we talk about the refill. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Sharonda and Ron.
Hello. It's time for Name That Song.
Oh my God.
Did everybody get their dry erase board?
I'm ready.
We have the whole version. We have copy paper and highlighter.
Okay, I was just supposed to tell y'all to bring a dry erase board, but it's okay. Grab a paper.
Whatever works.
Whatever works.
Vendell, y'all get the hood version like us. This is straight from the copier, about 20 seconds.
Yep, there you go.
See, they're great. They have one already.
So we're always talking about wine and winding down. So it's a mood thing. But guess what? You can also mix that with music. You don't just have to pair your wine with food.
That's right.
So, I got a question for you guys, everybody. And this is what you're going to need the paper, pen, or the dry erase board for. Think of wine. We're going to start with the white wine, a Pinot Grigio. Okay, so we know it's kind of a simple, light-bodied wine. What mood and what song do you think of when you're drinking that wine?
Let's see.
Think of it.
What song? You can't just put that down like that. What song? Oh my God. This is going to be for everything for him. I swear. Y'all listen.
Any genre, there's no limit. No limits.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Okay. All
Right. Who wants to share first?
I'll go first.
Look, I'm curious. I was gonna call you, brother, because
you're drinking a good little Pinot, you know what I'm saying? And you got to listen to that old school. Look, not too old, but a little old.
It's very old.
In Vegas, I'm with Boys to Men. I'll make love to you, right? And you sit back and sip on that thing and close your eyes. Yeah.
Okay.
I agree with him. So we're gonna go with Boys to Men. I'll make love to you.
Okay. Allison?
We have Secret Garden by Quincy Jones.
Okay.
Let me tell you about that. As soon as you hear that, dun, 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 and then you hear that, oh, let me tell you, everything just feels groaning.
Right?
Like the lights need to be low. You just need a glass of Pinot Grigio, and you just laying there getting baby oiled up. That's
What?
Baby oil.
listen.
Oh,
That's
from
my
Pino?
baby, okay?
Maybe I'm ready to run. I don't know. I don't get that from Pino. I'm
So,
usually studying for a test or working or something.
You in the wrong wine, Labria.
Andrews, what we got?
We have Lovely Day by Bill Withers.
Okay.
Hey, okay.
Lovely day. I've been
Yeah.
singing that all
Wait
week.
a minute. So you're the only one thinking about making love to somebody off of Pinot Grigio?
No, he not.
That's
No,
that's
look,
all
no, he not.
fine. I don't know.
Anyone, it don't matter which one.
We went with Maxwell till the cops come knocking.
That's a good one.
You know what? Newlyweds. That's why they about to get married. I can't even with them. Okay. Okay. Next. Let's see.
All right, let's go with a Cabernet.
Okay.
So you know it's full body.
Okay.
It has its little herbal notes.
Mhm.
So think music, not food. Hey, and have fun with it.
Okay. Music. What you got? Y'all, I'm putting Claude in the punish corner. I'm telling y'all, I think he needs to go in the corner and put his nose to the wall.
I'm already ready.
Now I tell everybody,
Today, I don't know. What?
when you with those calves, those are like that puts you in that serious mood, you
I
know.
know.
Yes. Yes. I'm ready. I can go. I can go right now. I'm ready.
I'm gonna let the Andrews go first.
Andrew,
We gonna have to save yours for last.
All right.
What y'all got?
All Lovers by Dwayne.
Okay.
Yes.
yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
I like that one. Mine's the same. Who else?
You ready,
Allison?
Allison?
Hold on one more second.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you who we went with.
Okay.
Lauren Hill, X Factor.
Yes.
That's the good one.
I'm here for it.
That's the good one.
My lovely husband. Lovely husband.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Nope. Nope.
Go ahead.
He want R. Kelly.
Bump and grind.
What is the y'all? Y'all, what is the problem? Babe.
So it's safe to say we kind of know where y'all going after the.
How?
Oh, yeah.
We gotta focus for church tomorrow. Praise and worship. No, ma'am.
You can worship him. You can
That's
worship
okay.
him.
Praise the Lord.
Right?
Come on, Allison. Let's see what y'all have.
What
Go.
y'all got?
So we got Other Side of the Game by Erica Badu.
That's a good one.
Okay.
That's
That's a
good.
good one. That's a good one. Okay.
Okay.
Next, Rhonda.
All right. Last one, guys. Chardonnay.
Oh,
What we feeling?
okay.
You know, it's fruity. It's fun.
I think.
This is gonna be so fun.
I was on time today.
Who? You are? Okay. That ain't it. That ain't it. Oh. Don't call us first.
Don't call y'all first.
Don't call me first. want to do now. Yeah.
All right, Andrews, y'all ready? No, look, y'all can take your time.
Ready? You ready?
Y'all ready?
To you. Vandal Andrew.
Hey, hold up. Great mind single, like I put all.
Two.
Look out.
We have it. What they say?
Wow.
Two.
That's crazy.
Allison, what we got?
This one first, since this seems to be the theme.
What?
And then this one,
That's
because
crazy.
our anniversary is next week.
Oh, happy anniversary, early anniversary.
We're all thinking alike, huh?
Thinking alike. Well, thank you everybody for participating. It's time for our refill.
Refill.
Our refill. And the wine of the evening is none other than
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, I have a question, guys. What made you guys get started in your wine?
A few years back, so I'm a musician. For anyone watching doesn't know, I'm a musician. I play the saxophone, and a few years ago, I started doing. I always try out new ideas, new performance ideas, and I started doing a thing called Ladies' Night with VA, where basically I would do house concerts for up to about like a small group of women, usually about 10 to 12, and I would always bring a couple bottles of wine and some roses, and my wife, of course. And and after like doing a couple of those, I branded it as Ladies Night with VA, but I'm bringing whatever wine I could bring from the grocery store, Sutter Home, whatever. And I think that was when I started thinking about just my own name on these wine bottles that I'm bringing for these people to drink. That was about 3 or 4 years ago, and last month we officially launched. So
awesome.
That's awesome.
Love.
there's a lot in the thing. Most people who they like to listen to instrumental music, jazz, any music that I feel is relaxing or just that vibe. They usually drink wine, so I feel like it was a perfect mix. So.
Definitely, I agree.
Yeah, we wine connoisseurs, so I totally agree with you on that one. Any type of relaxed environment.
Hey man, I love it. I mean, hey, this is a good one here. That bottle gonna be empty before this night over. I'm telling you right now.
Yeah, that's what we like to hear.
Y'all, I don't know. I think he had a hard day at work today. I don't know what's going on.
It's the wind down. You feel me?
Wind down, exactly. And what a perfect thing to do. To have a nice glass of wine.
Hey, we're gonna turn it over to the Allisons. And I think they're going to start our next segment and everything. And so let me just, y'all take it away.
So we are so excited to have.
So excited.
To have the Andrews as our guest on the wind down and on this chocolate Sunday segment. As you guys already saw, let me show it again, just in case somebody didn't get to screenshot this early. I'm gonna hold it still and a little longer, like Vanna Black, for anybody who was needing to just see this for a second. Before we get into it, let me tell you guys, I drink a lot of wine and I drink a lot of whites because I can't drink reds. They trigger migraines. But I took a sip of this. A lot of people don't like wines because they're like bitter or too oaky or too harsh. You do not get that with this. It is
not at all
soft, it's crisp. Like, sometimes you read like wine, like descriptions, and it's like it's crispy with some pear and apple, and you don't taste no. You taste exactly the notes that you're supposed to get from this. You don't leave with the bitter beer face. So I'm super excited that we get to highlight this amazing couple who coincidentally, Vandal and his wife.
Yeah, Vandal. Let's talk about Vandal. So you're talking about 9 Billboard top 25 hits.
Woo woo!
It had smash hits, Let's Ride. You know, he had what Soul Train nominee award, and best of all, he married to my cousin. So yeah, he married to the cousin. So that's the best of all. So that makes it.
That's a bonus, right?
He
That is
has
so cute.
he has traveled extensively. He has done a European tour. He recently did a sold out show before COVID where he had a guest from, is she from Amsterdam?
Yes.
Where they went viral on the internet for their duet saxophone like songs. I mean, I don't even have social media and I saw it. So it was interesting. And so we always love highlighting Black love, Black excellence on the Chocolate Sunday segment on the wind down. And so Andrews, although y'all are great, let's not take away from the fact that this man has an amazing strong Black woman behind him who is supporting him through it all.
Oh, yeah.
She done had his babies, y'all. When we go to the show, she right there at the door taking them tickets. She is by his side at them parties with the women. So
Yeah.
don't invite Vendale and Dewan and I. We is there. So let us also applaud his amazing wife because the two of them together are making moves, and we just want to say that we are super proud of you guys. And so, if you guys want to share a bit of your story, like how you met, we know you guys met. How long have y'all been together?
12 years.
Look how he looks.
12 years together and 9 years married.
Oh wow.
That's
Oh
awesome.
wow, that is
That's
great.
awesome.
Yes.
So, you guys have two small children. Well, they're getting big. I can't call them small. They have a son and a daughter. So, how do you guys run your business and still make time to be one as husband and wife, and then to be present for your children?
Man, it's tough. Every day, I mean, we talk about the schedule, the night before. Every day we never go according to the schedule, but it's definitely tough balancing it all. But we do educate them on entrepreneurship, so they kind of know the reason, that we're doing this. When we did the shoot, the photo shoot for all the promo stuff for the wine, they were there with us, and that
We
was
always
amazing.
we communicate with them and let them know. I mean, they're at an age where, we have to communicate so they understand, because they're have to involve them as well too. So now that they're that age, we have to include them too.
That's good. Good. That's good.
we learn. I mean, I don't have the answers. I mean, it's just like I feel like we just kind of take it day by day,
Yeah.
and just try to balance it all. And it's not easy, especially right now with the virtual learning. We're doing that too.
Oh wow.
So, with having such a busy schedule, how do you guys make time for each other so that you don't just get lost in the fray of just like such busyness?
Go ahead.
Okay. Well, ever since we
Quarantine, pretty much.
quarantine, we had to make time for everything, the kids, ourselves, work, trying to find a balance, so everyone is happy. Of course, it's not easy, but we have to take. I think it goes back to when we got married and we were taking premarital. I think one thing that stuck with us is always creating that time for us, and we've always, like date night, we always kept that. And it's always helped because we come back together and we strengthen us. That way everything else flows after. So I think we still make time. I mean, even if it's an hour, we put the kids to bed. We have a schedule of bath time. I mean, right after dinner, it's like we look at each other. Bath time, bedtime tuck, and then they have a little movie night, and after that, we tuck them in, and it's me time. We have our movie night together,
and we fall asleep.
But that's, we have our. I think it's important, because life happens, so that's why you have to make time and create a balance for everyone. It's important.
Awesome.
That's awesome. If you had advice that you could give to a young couple who wanted to go into one spouse being an entrepreneur and one working like what you would call a traditional 9 to 5, is there any advice that you would give them outside of like date night? Is there advice that you would give them about communication with your spouse?
I mean, it definitely is. That is the number one thing, communication. And I think, when working as a team, we have to have that team, mindset. Not one person is more important than the other. The person working the 9 to 5 is not more important than the entrepreneur. The entrepreneur is not more important than the one working the 9 to 5. And, I think we have to know that we're doing this together. Any accolade I've ever gotten, it was because of her being right there. And I tell her that all the time. So,
Oh
That's
yeah.
sweet, man. Hey, brother, you landing on thick, man. Go ahead. Golly, man. Good.
I would also throw in, to add to it, as us, being a married couple, young, starting, I feel like we were young.
We were young.
When we
21.
Our kids are in the back.
It's okay.
We don't hear them.
I feel like we got married at a very young age. So I would say, going through it, I would say still, keep that goal in mind, as far as the union. Have that goal still in mind, remember who you fell in love with, because life happens. I think the hardest part, life is hard itself. So trying to combine another person's life into one, you have to come together. You have to always remember, reality is life happens. So we have to come together and go forward and work as a team. Yeah.
That's good.
Wow.
Don't quit.
Don't quit.
Don't quit. Keep going. This is a journey. Like I always use the analogy. Yeah. You have to always use the analogy with him. Like we're writing a story together. Like each day is a story in our book. Anything that happens is a new chapter. Like you're reading a book. Some chapters are better than others. But you're still reading and you're going forward. And so I always revert back to that. Like what's next in our book together. It's gonna be a good book together.
It'll be something you go and publish. Go on and publish a book. You just did the movie. Come out with the book now.
Right? Let them turn it into a documentary. I'll be at the watch party. Definitely. Well, thank you guys so much for sharing your knowledge that you've learned in your years of marriage, letting the people get to know just a little bit more about who you are as a couple. We want you guys to stay put and participate with us. We are getting ready to go into our topic of the month, and we're going to pass it back to the True Fonts so they can take us over.
Yeah, guys. So this month we're talking about overcoming obstacles in a relationship. So we know that a relationship that became public, where they were always in the spotlight, Will and Jada, they had the biggest obstacle to overcome that marriage would see, right? And they coined it the entanglement. So to see it play out in public, that is just beyond me, But to see the reaction that they had at the very end that stuck out to me, they said, we live together, we die together, but they coined it the bad marriage for life, right?
Okay.
But I realized there was no marriage that's perfect, right? So for them to say that their marriage is perfect would be, they were just basically lying to everyone. But to know that their marriage isn't perfect, but they're sticking through it, that shows you something that they have together that most people don't realize, right? And so what we want to share or give tips, on how do we overcome those obstacles? You guys mentioned that you guys got married at an early age, and I know being young and fully just newly married, man, that is an obstacle in itself. We're still trying to find ourselves at that age. and let alone grow a family, run businesses, do jobs, try to combine everything. How is it? And I have a question for the whole panel, real quick. What is a hurdle that you overcame, and what are some tips that help you overcome those obstacles?
Don't know what time.
That's a hurdle is an understatement. We didn't have a lot of hurdles. I mean, we had a track full of hurdles.
We running track and
And
winning
so,
medals.
so really overcoming hurdles, period. We've always seek advice from our pastors. We did counseling, and then we did just getaways, like let's separate from everything. Let's go get a hotel on the other side of town and just me and her, and we'll just sit there and talk. And so those are ways that we've overcome hurdles. But most of all, just the communication and the counseling. Counseling has always helped us out.
We communicate in two totally different ways because as you guys heard me say last month, his way of communication is very different than my way of communication. And it doesn't mean that he needs to completely change the way that he speaks and I need to. It just means we need to find a middle ground to figure out what's a way that I can communicate with you that one is still an expression of me, but still speak to the side of you that needs to feel loved when I'm communicating this need, and vice versa. And so for us, we have spent the last 11 years that we've been together trying to figure that out. And when we hit a rough patch, we do go to counseling because sometimes you just need an extra body who's not really in the fight to help you overcome it and help you realize don't fight each other, fight the problem. Right. And so that's what we did.
That's cool.
That is cool.
I can tell you from us, I know one thing: communication was a big issue. Me, from the other hand, right after Hurricane Katrina, we went through this whole downward path, right? And so I went into this work mode. I'm talking about 100% straight grind. I didn't, man, listen, I mean, I'm talking about I worked, I came home, I went to work, I came home. That was it. That was all I was laser focused on because I didn't want, one, for us to stay where we were, and then I wanted to make sure that the point that we were at, it would never happen again. The problem is that I wasn't communicating with my wife, right? In turn, I'm saying, look, I'm doing all this for you, but she's like, look, but when are we going to be together, right? When are we going to have that time? I'm like, look, you don't understand. The reason why I'm doing this is because I love you. She was like, but that's not love to me. You're not showing love to me by you going out working every day. You're supposed to work. I'm supposed to work. And so it took some time for us to grow and understand that, hey, man, listen, that personal time that y'all need, that's what helps y'all grow, right? When y'all come together and y'all have those moments, like you guys have mentioned, y'all have that date night. Y'all have that at least that alone time to where you can effectively come together, and if it's no more than an hour or so to say, hey, I miss you. I miss being with you. Because even though at one point we worked together and it still didn't happen. You know what I mean? I saw her every day, all day. And yet we found we had to realize that we had to find time to come together and communicate effectively, not talk at each other, but talk with each other.
Because that was one thing for me, and I'm going to be totally honest with you. For me, I always found myself talking at him. So, because I was upset, because I felt, okay, listen, I hear what you're saying. I hear that you're trying to work. I hear that you're trying to make sure we don't fall behind. I get all that. But what about that personal time when we come home and you unwind and we just need to sit down and have a glass of wine, or let's just watch the movie or whatever. It's like, look, I just need to come home and he's on the phone, still emailing people, and it's like 11 o'clock at night, and I'm like, dude, And before I know it, I'm like aggravated and I'm angry. And so I had to learn how to just become this soft person and be like, look, listen, we have to fix this. Something needs to change because this is not going to work. And I remember one comment that I made to him, and I think it was a big change for our relationship. We were together one night, and I told him, I said, you know what? I feel like we're roommates. We can't do this because I'm going to work, we're existing. You're going to work, we're existing. We're paying bills, absolutely. But where is the marriage? Where's the intimacy? Where is that moment? And at that moment, he said, oh my God, I hear you. He did not hear me prior to that, but it wasn't me yelling at him. It was me talking to him. And I told him, I said, I feel like I'm your roommate and not your wife. And at that point, we learned how to get over that hurdle that we had to schedule. I don't care how busy we are in corporate America. We had to schedule that time, like you guys said. Hey, put the kids, we had smaller kids at that time. Now we're kind of empty nesters, so it is what it is. But back then, it was the same way. We had to schedule in, make sure kids did homework. I had to cook dinner, same thing. So I totally understand where you guys are and what you were saying. But communication is always key because you can't expect the other person to know what you're saying. And that's automatic, right? Just because you're thinking it and you haven't really told that person what you're thinking, don't assume that they know what you're thinking and don't assume that they know what you're talking about because they don't. Unless you communicate it effectively. Yes. And that's my take on that one.
And you know what? While I'm sitting here, I looked at him and I said, okay, everything's coming full circle. Because with us being in dual cities right now, work, for me, it can be stressful right now. And the communication is very important. And in my head, we in separate homes. So I'm like, let me deal with my thing over here. You deal with your thing over there. When we visit each other, then we may talk. But I realize now, because all of you guys have said communication, that is key. Because he doesn't know what's going on day to day because we're not always together. And we just actually, we're dealing with this also right now. He didn't know what all was going on with me at work, so he just knew I shut down. But he felt the disconnect. And in my head, everything was peachy keen. But yeah. Because he's like, no, you have shut down. I don't know this person. Who is this?
Right.
I'm like, what's wrong with you? Ain't nothing wrong with me. So communication for real is serious.
Absolutely.
Totally. Just like y'all put it all in perspective for me.
Communication and respect.
Yeah.
I mean, because day in and day out, I don't know what her day is like until the end of the day. And you got situations you have to address, but then you have to approach it delicately in a certain way because, how can I say this? It goes back to respect because one thing about us, we don't ever cross that line. When you cross that line and say harmful things, hurtful things, and you already got this situation over here and you cross that line and say hurtful things, you may say some things you can't take back.
Right.
So now you double the issues that you got to address. And sometimes that's hard to pull up. We never crossed that line. This is the first relationship I've ever had that we've developed that. And to me, it's a blessing to have her in my life.
Wow.
Don't cross that line. If I get overheated, I take a step back. She does the same.
One thing for sure, and what you saying that, Ron, we learned that first thing in marriage counseling, no lies. So our pastor, right, told us that if we ever was to get like really angry at each other, that don't try to communicate at that moment. So what we do, we set a date, right, and say if we argue today, and I know I can't talk to him today and he can't talk to me today, then I'll say, okay, let's talk on Tuesday. Now, we're not going to talk about it no more until Tuesday. Because that gives us time to sit back, relax. Yeah.
He did that to
me. Hopefully the Chardonnay from Vendetta, right? But gives us a chance to do that. And then we can come back on Tuesday with an open mind and an open heart and be able to have that conversation as human beings and not us yelling at each other like we're animals. So I totally agree with that. Definitely take that time apart and take that moment to breathe before doing it.
He had to teach me. He had to learn me something. Because I was like, no, we're going to talk about it right now. He's like, no, we're gonna talk about it Friday. Friday. So he taught me something. I got something out of that.
Let me ask y'all a question. If you had to think about marriage, and I know we talked about communicating, what are some other obstacles that you think married couples may come across or may come up in a relationship or in a marriage? Andrews, let's start with you guys.
I mean, jealousy. You know,
Absolutely.
and that relates to so many things. You know,
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think we're supposed to be jealous. I don't think if you're not,
human.
you know, yeah, there should be like a healthy, you know, like, you know, she might have fixed my son food before me or something. I'm like, man, what about me? You know? But
Absolutely.
man, I'm not a man of many words, but I mean,
No, it's okay. It's okay.
it's a huge umbrella. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
So we're watching, I know Sharonda and we're watching Marriage at First Sight, right? So
Right.
you brought up, right? And so if anybody who watched this show, right, it's about couples, they don't meet each other until they get to the altar, they get married, blah, blah, blah. Well, one couple on there, the wife makes like
A lot of
a lot of money. The husband does not, right? And so he has a big problem because she's saying, hey, I budget in this amount of money. I want to take these many vacations. I want to do this. I plan this. And he's like, no, I work for my 401k and that's it. And I want to do this. But in reality, he's really upset that she makes more money and he don't know how to address that. So what you saying that I kind of could take that as like a jealousy kind of saying that kind of is envious of the fact that his wife makes more money than he does instead of looking at it as, hey, dude, we're in this together. So my money is her money and we put it in the pot. We still need to budget, but we get to do this thing together as a couple. It's not just your money, my money. It's our money. But he is furious. When I tell you mad, he's mad. Does not like at all.
I think the rest of the world, you know, plays a part in that too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like, wow, he could be totally comfortable at home. The moment he goes to Lowe's and tells some, you know, random dude about his lifestyle at home,
Right.
you know, it's like, oh, your wife makes more than you, you know, and
Right.
begins to question himself.
Right. Right. Absolutely.
Jealousy in your friendships, and the reason I say that is because, like Vendel, my husband is a man of very few words, and so it's very rare that he will like tell me certain things about the positive things that he views about me. But he will tell all the people around him, and I have no idea that he's having these conversations. So the funny part about it is when he comes back and he's like, yeah, and I was telling so and so this and this and this. And I'm like, I never knew that because he So I found myself at a point getting a little bit jealous because I'm okay that he brags on me when he feels it necessary, but sometimes I want to hear these things. But it's just not natural for him to just come in and be like, "You're great at this and you're awesome," because he just like, it's just understood that you are. But for me, it's not. And so for us, that's something that we've had to work on when it comes to that, so that I don't find myself jealous with the way that he communicates with his friend circle.
Right.
He's able to express those things to them that sometimes I wish he would express to me, but he's found his way of doing it to where now I understand that and I get it. So now I don't feel that. That makes sense what I'm saying.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. Got it. Absolutely. Totally. Tanners, y'all want to comment on that or y'all good?
Well,
Y'all
you
got
know, we're in that going into newlywed stage, so
Yep.
I have to admit that he doesn't. I haven't felt that jealousy yet. I haven't been there. Have you?
Not at all.
But we're newlyweds, so
Oh, yeah.
Early in it.
we're getting ready to be newlyweds. So we're early in it. So for us, I mean, we haven't had that moment because I think we are both trying to be Superman and Superwoman for each other. at all times.
But just to chime in on what Jamaica said, I think I was in Texas and Sharonda was on a phone call, and I heard her speaking about me. And I think it's different, a little different sometimes for men and women, just my opinion. And I overheard her saying a lot of good things about me. And a lot of these things I've never heard her say to me directly. But still, just to hear it from me, I mean, I'm walking around the apartment like, hey, even though she never just directly said all these things to me, and it was like, it was good to hear. But I think it's a little different. It's a little different.
Oh yeah.
My chest be stuck out too, Ronald. It's just it took me a while to get to your level of understanding of at least you say
Yeah.
it rather than you don't say it at all.
I didn't get all this Drake or nothing.
I think there is one other aspect I think that goes along with it. One thing is that again, like the Andrews had mentioned before, you got married young, but when you got married, it was two people coming together as one, right? And two people coming together to work as one. And when you have two individuals that's imperfect trying to put together something to be perfect, there has to be a level of forgiveness, right?
Yeah.
Because, oh my God, I know I made a lot of mistakes, right? I mean, Jesus Christ. And so it takes a level, I do, but I think it takes a level of understanding and forgiving your partner and figuring out a way to move past it, right? Let's fix the issue. Like, let's not fight each other, let's fight the problem. I can't remember who said that, but that was a good analogy. I like that.
Love that.
Yeah, and that was very important. And when you fight the problem, that means now we're going to tackle this issue together. And I'm gonna forgive you if I was wrong. If you was wrong, you forgive me if I was wrong. And now let's build upon this together and use that as a learning moment. Forgiveness is hard, right? There are some things because different backgrounds. There are some things you're like, man, I would never forgive if. I would never forgive if. But if your love for that individual is so strong, and y'all are willing to work past the issue and fight the issue, I believe that you can overcome it, right? And that's one thing that is very difficult is that forgiveness, man. To look at a person and say, man, I look past the faults because I have faults too, and we work together to fix them. I forgive them because I love them, and we're going to build on top of this. Do you guys find it easy for forgiveness? I know we may not have had all the, I would say, drama so far within the relationship because no relationship is perfect. But have you had that point to where you say, you know what, man, I had to forgive an individual or something. I forgot to take out the trash. Baby, forgive me. I ain't taking the trash. But or things of that nature. No matter if it's big or small, did you find forgiveness difficult?
I gotta jump in on that one because as you was talking, everything like, oh, okay. So find forgiveness easy. I find the healing that I need to do difficult.
That's so sad.
Yeah. Yeah.
So sad. Yeah.
We taking notes.
Because here's the thing that I've learned in my marriage. My husband is this amazing Black man. I'm this amazing Black woman. We have
Absolutely.
come together with two totally different realities of what the world looks like and how to overcome obstacles. And now we have to make these two different realities coexist in what people expect to be perfect harmony, but it's not. And this is when the enemy creeps in because he says, oh, you made a vow in front of God, all your friends and family, but let me sow discord and division into your relationship. So how he does that is he enters in and you may be able to forgive your spouse, but your healing won't let you move past it.
That part.
Now,
That part.
your relationship, right? And so now he wants you to fight each other and not the problem. He wants you to see your spouse as your enemy, not your partner, because he knows that when the two of you come together to
Power.
fight the problem that you're doing together, that's biblical right there. That when two and three, yeah, listen to me, okay?
Sister!
Grab the mindset of my husband is not my enemy. This is my partner. So when we get into heated debates and we're saying, but you said, but no, I mean this. One of us says, stop. Let's stop and pull back for a second. Let's give each other some space to breathe, and let's come back and not have a heated debate. Let's come back and say, what's the problem?
Absolutely.
Let's fix that. Because you are not the problem and you don't need fixing. I am not the problem and I don't need fixing. Because what the enemy wants is to say, I know what they're going to do together. I know how they are doing together to do kingdom business. I don't want to exist. So Labria and Claude, your marriage is going to be on the rocks because the enemy sees what you did starting the true wind down. Sharonda and Ron, the enemy is going to come after you because you're a part of this and you are newlyweds who have been married before, and he wants to sow discord and doubt in your mind because you are on purpose to help other couples overcome so they don't have to go through it. Vandell and Dawana, there are so many couples who are looking at you who idolize what you have but don't understand what it takes to put in the
Girl, come on.
Nika and my husband is on the road every single week.
Preaching it this week.
I know she is. She is.
I'm telling you.
Let me tell you, when he gets here, this is my partner. We will not fight. We will not have discord. Because what I'm on mission to do is piss the enemy off. And what I'm not on mission to do is jeopardize my relationship with this man. Because I love him. And I be John Brown, good God Almighty, if I let him walk up out of here. He gonna have to die to get out of here.
Look, that chat just got this.
So that being said, when you
I need your cash out, baby. I need your cash out.
I had to say this because when your healing stunts your growth or your opportunity to truly forgive your spouse, all you are doing is allowing room for the enemy to come in and cause division in your marriage. And that's not going to happen in your marriage. Whoever watching this and needed that, Jesus would let me sit still until I said, okay, I'm done. I'm sorry. And for
Exactly.
the happen now.
Amen.
Y'all,
And the church said what? And the church said what?
y'all, hey, I want to say, hey man, that
There
was
you go.
that
The
was
church
awesome.
said.
Hey, I want to say this, man. This has been a wonderful, wonderful wind down. I want to thank again the Andrews for coming on. Y'all, I finished my glass. I'm moving on to second glass. Man, listen, I'm telling you, I love sharing information to everybody, man, because to make people better is what the object of this group is. And we want to thank the Andrews again for coming on and
Thank
blessing
you.
us with y'all presence, with y'all wine, man, with y'all input, with your marriage. Thank y'all so much. I want to thank the panel for coming on as usual, being awesome. Hey man, we love y'all. I think Jamaica, you have one to say something.
Yes, I want everybody to be able to follow the Andrews on
I was
their
about to say that.
and I want them to be able to find out how to buy the wine. So can y'all share that with us?
I was about to say that. Yeah.
Okay. You can follow us both. So she's on Instagram at DAndrew88. That's simple. And I'm at Vandell Andrew. And you can buy the wine at I'm sorry, not Vandell Music. Andrew, I'm so used to saying VandellMusic.com.
Go ahead and plug that too, Vandell.
But I mean, VandellMusic.com, you can find the music and the wine there. But the wine website is AndrewWine.com.
But we want to get your strings up too, Vandell. So tell us
Yes,
what kinds of music.
everything, not just the wine. You too. So go ahead and plug that in as well.
It's Vandell Andrew on all digital platforms, Spotify, Apple Music, all of them. I actually just dropped a single yesterday, actually called.
NBA, because I listened to it today when I was getting dressed.
I'm talking.
Also, balance, y'all. I'm telling y'all. Like, I had
Called Vision Realized.
came on and
and
I was
exactly what it sounds like. I mean,
I'm telling you.
point, you know, yeah.
Say that again, Vandell, you cut out.
Say it again, Vendel. We didn't hear you.
Oh, I was saying the song is called Vision Realized.
Yes.
I don't know what else.
That's what we was listening to earlier.
Yeah.
Well, again, guys, y'all so much for coming on. Thank the panel.
Thank you.
Y'all, this was an awesome hour. I will say we've had awesome hours, but this one I particularly like so much. We thank you guys for coming on. Again, he has given you guys the way to follow them, their social media, everything. Make sure you support this awesome and amazing couple, y'all. And please support their business. Follow them on social media. Don't forget to follow the True Wind Down at the True Wind Down Relationship Group on Facebook, True Wind Down on YouTube. Follow us, like Claude said earlier, we're just a group trying to empower other Black and just couples, period. Empower you guys through this group. So thank you so much. Anybody has anything else to say?
Thank you, everybody, for the great information. We always love it. Always love it. It's helpful because we new in this. We've been married before, but I mean, this is a totally different experience, and I'm loving it and enjoying every minute of it.
That's awesome.
Hey guys, the Andrews, if y'all anytime y'all are free, y'all want to come on, let us know. Y'all are more than welcome to come on and enjoy with us, because the more the merrier, man. We love you guys and thank y'all so much again. Hey, listen, for everybody that is watching, go click like the pages, click and get your wine, everything, y'all. Hey, listen, we love y'all and we gonna holler at y'all later. Peace.
Peace.